Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ModzvilleUSA, back again with another video. And today, we're going to be building the very sick, very slick, very sleek SD2PSX. Now this is going to require a bit of elbow grease, I suppose. This is a DIY project. This does not come pre-assembled. So we're going to need to do a bit of 3D printing. We're going to need to do a tiny bit of soldering. Very, very beginner-friendly stuff here. And then we're going to have a badass memory card that works in both PS1 as a PS1 or a PS2 memory card. Infinite with a micro SD card. Very cost efficient, very cool. I like it. So yeah, let's jump into it. Before we do that, let's have a word from our very relevant sponsor, PCBway. Big thank you to PCBway for sponsoring this video. If you do not want to 3D print your own shell for this project, you can come on in here, download the printable files here, click here, download all, and come on over to PCBway. Come on over to 3D printing. We're gonna upload these STL files here. Boom and boom. So once you have the 3 parts uploaded over here, just make sure to pick what you want, how you want it to be printed. By default it's white material, but I don't know, I think the translucent would look very nice. Just make sure you get 2 buttons. You gotta change that quantity to 2 or you won't have enough buttons. But yeah, there's all sorts of materials. You got nylon, ABS, PLA. If you're gonna go for it, I say use the resin though. The resin's pretty damn nice. I've got a link below. If you go ahead and click that link if you want to get this done, helps the channel, and I greatly appreciate you guys. But once again, thank you PCBway for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. Alright, so it comes with both this pre-assembled PCB here, and this is the OLED screen right here. And I'm going to be showing you how to go from this to something like this. This is the one I built for myself already, and we're going to be making one similar to this. Now, so let's come back over here. I'm going to be doing some stuff software side. So, alright, case files right here. Boom. Crack it open. And we've got the buttons. We've got the top and the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and download all model files. Okay, so I've got the model files downloaded and I've got Cura open. Now, when I went through it and built the first one, I did all of that off camera and kind of realized a video would be beneficial for something like this when I was doing it. And mostly from the 3D printing side of things, because it took a little bit of fuckery to get it going. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to import the top, the bottom, button, and another button, because we need 2 buttons here. So got 2 buttons. Let's line this up a little bit better. Okay. Custom. There's 2 important things here. So I'm gonna go down to supports, and we want to do tree. Okay, here it is. It's under walls, and in order for this to become visible, it's got to be at least expert or all. It does not show up in advanced. So Yeah, in advanced we've got wall thickness, optimized wall printing order, etc. So in expert we get this print thin walls option. Now if you've got a smaller than stock nozzle, you should be fine, but for me, I've got the stock nozzle, so I was having a bitch of a time printing these buttons. Essentially it was only printing this and this, was not printing the full thing, so I had to enable this in order for the buttons to print properly. And the tree thing, it should generate a nice tree for us. So let's see. Let us close this. Let's give it a slice and preview. So here's our supports. It's making this little tree for us. Look at that. And this should print properly. So, got about 3 hours and 10 minutes of printing, it seems. I'm going to go ahead, give this a print. I'll see you when that's done. We want the shell before we mount the OLED screen, because we need to use the shell as a bit of a to find the distance that the screen needs to be, otherwise it won't be aligned properly. So I'll see you when it's done printing. Before we continue on with this build video here, I wanted to make sure you guys know about the one that Helder Gametech is making, as going to have the same capabilities of Ps1 and Ps2 support, and it's going to come in this nice injection molded setup here. Helder sent me this. This is what it's looking like currently, and it's looking very, very nice. And it's not going to be a DIY thing, so if you don't want to solder, if you just want to buy something that's ready to go, keep your eyes on this. It is looking very, very, very nice, and I know the price point is roughly around floating around the same area, like 20 to 30-ish, from what I've heard. So I'll have a link below, like a placeholder site for when these do go up. So yeah, carry on. Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, we got this printed. Yeah, buttons turned out just fine. Perfectly fine. A little bit of a little scruffy looking on the sides here, but you know what? Okay, very nice. So let us carry on. We've got two things. We've got the LCD. We've got the main PCB. Alright. Styrofoam can go. So let's see how it all lines up here. I believe it's... So it's the other way around. Okay, so here's what we do. LCD goes in first. Well, first. Remove the film. And we're gonna put it in like this and then adjust. So okay, and we push this down, onto the pins here. Let's check it out. How does that look? Could be better. Could be a bit better. Okay. We're going to fully remove this guy here. Oh yeah. Yeah, something like that. Okay, we're feeling okay about the alignment, so gently we'll tack in one pin. I'm gonna heat it up, push on the other pins. Okay, so I got a little OCD off camera with the alignment here, but I got it quite nice. So with the one locked in, what I did was pull it out like so. And PCB really is in there pretty good. And you'll notice the LCD pretty much lays in a flat surface here. It was kind of bent inward, so when I cracked it open, kind of just you know, delicately came in with my iron, heated up one leg, and just kind of evened it out obsessively until I got it just to where I want it. Now this is, you don't have to go this crazy like I did with this, but that's what I did. Real obsessive legs. So now that it's out, what we're going to do is add the buttons, and I had to hit up Mina to ask him, like, what the fuck, how do these buttons go, because I was perplexed. They fit over like so, and that's that. It just fits over the buttons. Ta-da! There we go. And there we have it. Now we snip. Watch your eyeballs, kids. All right. And one more for good luck. Getting touched up. Simple as that. Now, since we have a nice little screen under here, you don't want to just completely drown this in IPA. We don't want to fuck that screen up, but we want to clean that flux, so you got to do something. Okay, so we're coming back over here to SD2PSX.net. We're in the getting started, install the latest firmware, and what we need to do is just simply plug in a USB-C cable. Now there's two other options, so we have nothing on this, so there's no code, nothing programmed to it. We got to do this first off. So once we plug it in, it should already be programmable. In the future, for updates, you can hold either of the two buttons, and while doing that, plug in your USB-C cable, and it should go into programming mode. Now, if that doesn't work, you need to disassemble Then hold the internal button named boot while plugging in USB-C. So we still have it here. Boot button. Got to come at that angle. It's an angled button, so you need to come there with your thumbnail or something. But that's just kind of a emergency mode. We shouldn't need to do that. So I'm going to, well, first we need the firmware. So you come over to releases, and this is the latest. It says it's pre-release. So just grab the UF2 file. I'm going to grab the normie one, not the debug one, because I'm just a regular fella. Okay, got USB-C right here. Just plug it in. Hey. Okay, so in File Explorer we've got the RPI-RP2 drive. That is what we want, and we're just going to take this file, we download it, drag it on top of that. Okay, and it is done. And would you look at that? Failed to mount the SD card, SD error, check the card. Well, that makes sense because we do not have an SD card in it yet. And that is crazy. So on my end, it's a static image, but recording, that is wild. It's all strobed out. Well, I'm not gonna begin to pretend like I know why cameras do that, but it's doing it. That's a recording thing. Okay, so from a previous project, I've got this kit of M2 screws here, hex nuts, and we're using the M2 by 4 millimeters. We're just gonna close this thing up. Okay, so we're here on the SD card side of things. I've gone ahead and plugged it in, and it's recommended to use SD card formatter to format. We're gonna go ahead and do that. There we go. So after you format your SD card, you're going to want to hunt down CIV.BIN and put it on the root of your SD card here. CIV.BIN. Give it a search. I'm sure you'll find it fairly quick. Once that's done, pull out your SD card, put it back in. There we go. Okay, I seem to have gotten it into a spot where it's not flickering, which is nice. So, left button is channel to the left, right is channel to the right. I believe if you hold it, you switch to a different card. Very cool. There we go. Focus. So if you push both, we go into the settings menu here. Okay, hold it to enter, and we're going to deploy CIV.BIN. It is successful. Very nice. Okay, let's push both to go back, and we're going to go back to the menu here. We're going to switch the mode to PS2. And heed the warning, do not insert into PS1 when set to PS2 mode, may damage card and console. Confirm. Okay. And here we are, PS2 memory card. Would you look at that? So it's that simple, pretty basic. We switch between the channels, And when we do PS2, has to load up like that, switch between the card. So we've got infinite storage essentially. Now this is the only obnoxious thing here, is that loading thing. So let's say we write free McBoot to this. Once we do that, we turn on the console, it'll do that loading of the channel. So it won't load up the channel until the PS2 is already booted. Therefore, free McBoot will not be engaged. You gotta turn on the console, wait for this to go by, and once it's loaded, you'll hit reset, and then free McBoot would be active. But in normal circumstances, if you're not using free McBoot, you're just using it as a memory card, then by the time you need to access your memory card, it'll be up and running. But yeah, that is the only fault that I've noticed so far. It takes longer to load. It takes too long to load for free McBoot to work if the console has been like full off, like in standby mode. You would need to reset it for free McBoot to work. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, this is a very, very cool device. It does what? It's very simple, very basic. You can put it in your PS1, put it in your PS2. It works as both a PS2 and PS1 memory card. So if you want to save a PS1 game on your PS2, you just come in here and switch it to PS1 mode. In case you're curious, here's the PS1 setting. So we got free PSX boot, auto boot. Yeah, so it looks like that's just built right in. You can imitate a pocket station. What? Oh, that's cool. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is the SD2PSX. This is how you put one together. This is how you set it up. 3D print settings, all of that. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.